Thank you, Vince. As Vince indicated, and as the advertising has indicated, the title of our symposium today is In Deep, a conversation about water. And we are privileged to have with us 7 internationally recognized experts on water resources who hail from both Canada and the United States. 2 of those you see before you, and as the day progresses, the other 5 will join them. The program has been divided in 2 parts. The first part, which will occupy us this morning, is focused on the state of our water resources both globally and regionally. And it is our hope that these presentations will encourage you to think about questions and answers such as the following. Will we have enough water to feed the 2 billion additional souls who will join the global population in the next decade? What are some of the likely consequences of climate change for Western Canada, and what are some of the ways in which we can prepare for that climate change? To what degree can Indigenous people who have lived in harmony with air and land and water resources bring lessons from their own experience to bear on the challenges that we face? We will begin with a presentation on water resources from a global perspective, and this will be followed by a presentation on water resources of Western Canada and the changes that it is likely to face in the future. The third and final presentation of the morning will examine the water situation in northern Canada from an Indigenous perspective. Indigenous people have lived in harmony with air, land, and water resources for many, many generations. They understand the processes and patterns of these resources over long time frames. The science that they bring to the discussion is based on hundreds of replications. That science should be helpful to us as we face the dawning challenges ahead. After this morning's session, the afternoon session will focus on the Columbia Basin Treaty, and I will have more to say about that session when it convenes after lunch. Let me now introduce to you the first speaker, Professor Charles Vaux from the City University of New York, where he is Professor of Civil Engineering and Director of the Environmental Crossroads Initiative. Mr. Vaux leads a team that develops computer models and geospatial data sets to analyze the interaction of water cycles with climate, biogeochemistry, and human activities. I think he has the honor of having traveled the furthest of any speaker to get to this Congress, and we are especially appreciative of that, Charles. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Charles Vaux.